Hello pilots, wherever you may be, I hope all is well.
So what have I been up to since the last video? Well, I've been taking advantage of the great weather up here in Scotland at the moment, and as you can see I've been climbing some very tall mountains. Yeah.
So welcome to part 2 of this video. If you haven't watched part 1, why not? Go and get a cup of tea or coffee, I'll let you have that, and get it watched before watching this one. So, you'll be glad to know, I did an initial flight test of my Parajet Maverick Neon, and I didn't break it, I didn't turtle it.
Turtle!
I didn't faceplant. So that's the good news. The bad news was it didn't go brilliantly, so that's fine, nothing that can't be fixed. So in this video I'm going to show you that initial flight test, what went wrong, and what I did to rectify it. Nothing major, and it's kind of expected. You do a flight test of a new frame, new paramotor, whatever, there's going to be little teething problems that you know, little adjustments to be made, etc. So buckle up, get your seatbelts on, here's what's coming.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay people, the task today is
To take the reserve out of my front mounted reserve case, put it into my side mounted case and place it on the side of my paramotor.
Sounds easy, doesn't it? Let's find out. Okay people, let's remove this. This bridle will go on the other side with the malleon, and we'll go from there.
So you can see that pulling the handle hard releases the reserve from its case, and then it's thrown basically. So the new handle ties onto the reserve as per the last one.
When we pull it out, you're deploying it. Right, let's see, squeeze this in now. It never looks like it's going to fit, but you'll be surprised. Right, you go in there. Now the trick is to get all of these together, and then this through there. And there's a little tab there. Now the best thing to do, what you can do is get this piece of copper wire and stick it through here, and you can pull this tab through the corresponding holes, as I shall now demonstrate. Take the handle and put it through one of these tabs. Yeah, like that. That was the easy side. Now we're going to cram it all in there. Your reserves never look like they're going to fit, but they do. Don't worry. Okay, that's one side done. Right. Here we go. Same again. Cram it in. There we go. My copper wire again, through there, through here, lovely jubbly, there we go, and then up through here.
pull that onto there, and then again get this tab through there. Lovely. Ugh. And pull that out. There you go. Just pack it in. So now when I pull this, the whole chute will come out. Whole chute comes out and you lob it. And you throw it hard. Put that there. These tabs. That can go in there. This one can go in here. And these tabs can go in here. So they don't get caught in anything. 1 and 2. Lovely. And there's my Malian, which will connect to the wide bridle eventually. So the hard part now is these zips on the side are quite fiddly when trying to put them back onto the side of the Paramotor. So let's go and you can watch me struggle doing that.
So the reserve zips to the side, which is a right fiddly job, and the Malian and bridle connection, it must go round the swing arm and the throttle so that on deployment nothing gets caught whatsoever, and that's incredibly important that it goes round that swing arm and up into the harness. Nothing blocking that at all.
Pulls out and gets thrown. Right then, let's get these fiddly zips on. This could be interesting, but we'll give it a try. So here's the Y piece, or the Y bridle. So this end onto the side of the parachute, and it goes round and into the harness there and there. So that when you deploy it, it's connected on from here, and the whole thing goes out that way, connected onto the harness itself. Did that make sense? It did in my mind. So this end on first, here, again over the swing arm, very important. Outside the swing arm, obviously.
Now, as you can see, there's Velcro holders right round the side of the harness to keep the bridle from flapping around. On deployment, this will rip open the Velcro as the chute opens up. The rest of the harness opens up on Velcro to reveal the main Malians on the front where the Y bridle is connected to. It's then just a case of getting these connected, nipped up, and folding the rest of the bridle into the harness and then closing it all up.
So, at long last, there's a bit of faffing. So what's happened is I've got the Y bridle coming from the reserve. It's coming up through here, into this one, and into this one underneath here, into the Malians under here. So we're good to go. We've now got a reserve, basically, here, pull and throw. So once deployed, it will unravel from here, up here. It's then connected onto the two Malians, should I say, inside the harness. Right, we're good to go. Howdy everyone. Right then, it's the moment of truth. Paramotor strapped to the back. It's time for a test flight. Mixed emotions really. I'm a little bit nervous. And why is that? To be honest, I haven't flown for a month. The weather has been absolutely atrocious in Scotland. It's either been really windy or really rainy. Not the same. tonight is probably the only night I'll get to fly for another week or so. So a bunch of us are going to jump on that opportunity. So the other thing that I'm nervous about is it's a brand new Paramotor, isn't it? Did I tighten those bolts correctly? Did I torque them okay? These things kind of go through your mind, but I know I did a good job, and we're going to get this thing up in the air. So let's go to Longside Airfield, and we will take off from there, have a flight, and then when I get back, I'll check bolts, make sure nothing's come loose, etc, etc. See you there.
Okay, people. There we go. First flight of my Neon. Butterflies are starting to go away now. We can do this. Lucky this thing's incredibly light. Ooh. Okay, let's do this. And this is why we do flight tests. Sadly, here's where it all goes wrong. Although the engine ran in my previous video, it had also been primed just now and warmed up. Unfortunately, whenever I pressed the throttle even a slight bit, it would just cut out. Not sure if I had air bubbles in the system from this being a new tank, and the air has kind of made its way up through the pipework. So I decided to abort this attempt and take the Paramotor back over to my car and see if I can adjust the idle or low jet needle setting again.
One eternity later.
So, I got into the air with no real drama. However, I forgot to press the record on my bloody GoPro, so it's over to my Insta360 and me doing a voiceover. On takeoff, because I'd done a quick job in the car park to set my carb up, it wasn't really set up brilliantly, and so it was pretty hesitant on throttle push, and I also didn't get full power. I'd say 3/4 power at the most. So a few tweaks to do yet. That said, takeoff was incredibly easy as a result of my really light frame, and also the landing was equally non-eventful. So far, tick in the box for that, as you'll see later on. Stay tuned, as I'm going to do a quick flight, and then the next day I actually set my carburetor up from scratch, so I'll show you all how to do that. While flying, I still felt I was leaning forward a little, and you can probably see that in the video. So another thing I do on landing is I pretty much move my hang points to forward a bit. Apart from that, it was a very comfy harness, easy to launch, easy to land, and I find that the weight shift was very responsive, as you can see here. So all great. Apart from the carb and the hang points, it felt easy to fly, so I see this as a successful first test flight. Great to be in the air again. Right, time to come in for a landing, I think. Oh, that was hard work.
If you remember in the first video, we did a hang test, and this is where we put the hang points. So 1, 2, 3, 4 from that side. Now, at first I was sitting a bit forward, and I knew that if I pushed thrust, the whole thing would tilt forward a bit. And then we changed it, and it was kind of on the limit. I think when I simulated weight shift by sticking one leg over the other and doing a bit of leading, I still felt I was going forward. As you can see from the flight test, I'm still not too happy with it. It still feels like I'm a bit forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these forward one. I deliberately didn't thread lock them because I knew that there was a chance that they may have to move. So I'm going to move them just now. I'm not going to thread lock them again until I've done another flight test, and then I'm totally 100% happy with it. But as long as I button these up to 20 Newton meters, as per the good book, then they'll be fine, because there's some spring washers in there, etc. So for an initial test flight, that's fine. So I'm going to take these off, move them one over. All done, ready for another flight test. Now, just in case you're confused, and I think I've had a comment on this before, you will see that the hang points, one sticks out towards there and the other one is inwards. That's normal, so it's not like these stick out this way, so take that into account. So that's the hang points done. The other thing that was the problem was, and I don't know if it was air bubbles still making their way through, but the throttle response was horrendous, and when it was running in the air, it was running as rough as a badger's arse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the carburetor up from scratch. We're going to do this in the garden, I think. It's a lovely day. Why not?
Okay everyone, first thing to consider when setting up your carb is just to get to know your carb a little bit, what to touch and what not to touch. So let's have a little look at said carburetor. So here it is. So you've got your high jet needle, your low jet needle and idle. So 3 there. This one, the sticky out one, we don't touch. That is usually sealed by the factory, and you only play with that if you know what you're doing. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up the low jet needle, the smaller one, which as you can see is a total pain to get to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this adapter here that you put in a screwdriver to get in there. Inevitably, when you adjust this, start playing around with that, you're probably going to have to adjust the idle afterwards. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up the carb from scratch using the low needle, and then we'll see how it runs, and then we'll be doing a bit of an adjustment on the idle itself afterwards. You can buy a tool, an adapter that fits over that, so you can just go in with your finger and move it. And I've ordered one of them, and hopefully it'll arrive soon before I put this video out, and then we're going to have a good look at it. But so we're going to be playing around with that. Now, as usual, we're going to talk about this because it has to be talked about. Once again, under no circumstances do you ground start your Paramotor. So what we're going to be doing is every time I'm firing this up to test it, I'm going to stick it on my back. It's better with two people. If you can have someone who can adjust it and then you can start it, keep it on your back. That's the way Parajet does it in their video. I'll leave a link to that, of course. But this has never let me down, setting it up this way, so it's always good. And so we'll go through the process now. Here we go. Okay, people, we're going to have to go in with a different pair of glasses so I can see what I'm doing, because I am old. Right, so using my incredibly technical adapter there, when you get this Paramotor, or Paramotors in general, from Parajet, they tend to be, the low jet screw tends to be all the way shut, but a third or a quarter open, if you know what I mean. So what we're going to do here to start with is we're going to shut it, which is all the way clockwise, and then open it a quarter. Okay. Just to put it initially to the factory settings, or what it would have been, and then we're going to start it and see what happens. Of course, we're going to start this on our back, and we're going to see how it reacts. And what we're looking for is when you hit the throttle, it instantly reacts. Also, when you open the throttle slowly, it doesn't just cut out, or cut out at all when you open the throttle. Now, it's probably going to happen. So, and then what you can do is you can then start tweaking it back and forward until that doesn't happen. And what we're looking for is instant power, and also it doesn't cut out when we open the throttle slowly, or even open the throttle normally, because that would be a real bummer when you're taking off, running down the field, and then you hit full power, and you maybe take off a bit, and then suddenly you lose power. Face plant central. So it's really important that you've got takeoff power available to you at all times. So anyway, let's do that. We're going to close it and then open it a quarter and see how she runs. Right, that's it fully shut. Let's open it a quarter. Right, that's about a quarter. Let's fire up and see what happens. Well, there you go. I immediately notice it ain't right. It's trying to start, but it's just not enough to keep it going. So we'll get it off my back and we'll move it a little bit more. We'll keep doing that until it runs. Okay, so what we're going to do. So I've opened it to a quarter. So we shut it, opened it to a quarter. So what we want to do now is, as I say, the factory settings are between a quarter and a third. So what I want to start doing now is slowly close it between the quarter and the third. So I'm at a quarter now, so I want to slowly close it a little bit. Try it again. Slowly close it, try it again, until I get the sweet spot. Until I'm happy that it'll run, it'll start and run without cutting out, which it's been doing, that the throttle responds instantly, and also that it responds when I put power to it as well. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to keep walking back and forward, probably, moving it a little bit clockwise to close, towards close. So we're going from a quarter to a third. It might even be a little bit past that, we don't know. I think the last time it was. And so what we'll do is we'll keep adjusting it between a quarter and a third until I'm happy that it's running. Going back and forward about 5 times, just slightly moving it between a quarter and a third. Slightly tried it, slightly tried it. Let's see what this does. Where are you? That's better. Sure there's no obstructions, here we go. I think we've got it. I think that's pretty good. I think the idle's not too bad either. I'll leave it for a while, start her back up again when it's slightly colder and see what the difference is then. Another thing to be aware of is you've got to remember I've just filled this up, a new fuel tank that had nothing in it before. So I've got a sneaking suspicion when I was on the airfield you saw it cutting out. It wasn't very consistent, was it? I have a sneaking suspicion that I'd still had air bubbles going through the system. So just something to be aware of if you've filled up a brand new tank or things like that. There's going to be air trying to get to the top, if you know what I mean, and then it's virtually going to circulate through the carburetor. So, you know, I went straight for fill up, ran it a few times, and then went straight to fly, and that clearly didn't work for me. So just be careful and try and get all the air bubbles out. You'll see them coming up through the pipe, and I had a couple of big ones there this morning, which I've managed to run through the system. So I'm kind of hoping I've got rid of all the air. So I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'm going to see what it's like on first start, as if I've just fired it up on a cold day, just to see how it idles. Because the next phase is often you have to adjust the idle screw when buggering around with the low jet. Well, see while I was cooling down, thought I'd do my strobe light. Battery, switch, controller. First of all, I did charge it a while ago, so it should be good. Let's try, see if it works first. We're on a winner. I'm just going to make that go on here. Everyone, the post lady's just arrived with this in the post. Look at that. That is called a star tuner. Just in time as we're going over this. What you do is you put this over your low jet, and you can actually get your hand in now and move it back and forward without having to try and fiddle around looking for a screw head. And then you can tether it on as well. There's a little pencil comes with it so you can mark where it is as well. And there's a clamp there as well so it doesn't move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that on. And then we're going to fire this up again because it's been, still got my strobe on, it's been an hour or so, so it'll have cooled down. I'd like to see how it runs. Okay, so this should simply, he says, fit on here. Beautiful. So, should just be able to see that now. Oh, on there. What it does, it goes over the high jet and clamps over the low jet. So now all I need to do is move that back and forward. There's a tether there. I'm going to tether it onto something. And just screw that up and we're good. Okay everyone. It's been an hour or so. Strobe light on. I've got my new star tuner on. This is cooled down now. Let's start her up from cold. See how she idles. So, do a bit of priming, a wee bit of fuel in the carb. Not bad, running nicely. Okay, so it's very reactive, which is what we want. It's not cutting out, which is good. Check for power. Oh yeah. I'd say that was good. Right everyone. Thanks so much for watching this video over 2 parts. It's been a bit of a journey. Going from one frame to another with hardly any experience in engine changing. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. It means a lot to me. And I'll leave you with a recap of the journey getting my Paramotor to flight worthy status. Sadly, the weather's been a bit windy, so in my next video we'll get a proper flight in my new Paramotor. Till then everyone, I'll leave you with this. Thanks for watching.